think I'm very happy with the way we ended the season, to be honest with you. First of all, we were going into our conference championships with 5 wins on the men's side, 4 wins on the women's side, so I think we were pretty confident. We drew Monmouth in the first round. We knew they were going to be tough. They were seated above us, and the women drew number 2 seed Quinnipiac. So I think we went into this kind of knowing that we have to play our best, but we were realistic. The outcome was probably better than I thought it would be. Women won St. Francis, New York in the first round. The quarters they did lose to Quinnipiac, but I think they played very well. And then we did make it to beating Robert Morris, and that helped us clinch 5th place. Men, I think, did very well with Monmouth. I think we had opportunity in some places. Definitely number 1 doubles came through. We're looking at number 2. I think they could have pulled it through. And I think we could have swept some singles. All we needed was 3 more points. But it didn't happen. Monmouth ended up going to the finals with FDU. So I can't ask for anything better than that. We were able to come back, win against Robert Morris. I think that was a great win for us. We needed that win, and that clinched us at number 5. All in all, with this very young team, we've had, close to, 15 match wins, and probably over 90 wins in singles and doubles. So I think we did very well as a young team. Do better competing as a team. We still struggle with some consistency out there, going from one match to another, kind of staying consistent. I still think we are spotty at times. Some players can play their best one match, the next match they don't. I think there's a level of maturity out there that we're looking for. I think mental toughness has been an issue with some players on the team really fighting. Other players have a whole lot of heart and fight, and they're working on their skills. So we're having some technical issues with some players, so they're not able to focus on tactical. So I think once we get to a certain point where the players are comfortable technically, mentally, then we can start really preparing them tactically on how to really close out these matches, and I think that's where we struggle right now. What we lacked last year was a little bit of leadership, which I think was a pretty high expectation to have for the upperclassmen. With 9 freshmen, it's a lot for them to handle. It's a lot for them to lead, and I think it took the year to kind of work out the kinks a little bit. And I think the freshmen were a little overwhelmed in terms of their ability to maintain strong academics, as well as the kind of practice schedules and matches that we have. But I have to tell you, I have to commend them. We had 9 players on the team that had highest GPAs, and I have to say, this is a team that cares about their grades, so I have to commend them for that. Next fall, we're really going to see a transition. We have 3 new men that are coming, and we have 2 women that are coming, but on the women's side, we have Camilla, who sat out last year, who's going to be coming back. So essentially we have 3 new women and 3 new men that I anticipate to be in the lineup right away. So we have Nate, who's leaving us, Julian, who's going to be leaving us on the men's side, Devin, who's going to be leaving us on the women's side, and I think what we have here pretty much is a brand new team. I think Andres and Matt and Laura are the only 3 returning players. So I think we're going to really see something much differently next year, and I'm excited to see what these new players. I changed our schedules around. I think, in hindsight, we played a lot of difficult schools. The schedule was real tough, and I think we had a confidence issue. Towards the end of our season, we played more comp schools. We did much better. And I think that's what led to the success going into our conference championship, is we just felt like we can compete better. As much as I like to go to these profile schools like Georgetown, James Madison, Duquesne, you know, I just feel that in order for us to play them, we have to just compete well. And I just wasn't happy with the kind of scores that I think that we should have. So I think next year, I think the schedule is not going to be easier, but we're playing more comp schools, and I think it's going to give us a better chance to gain our confidence right away. You know, we're still playing tough schools out there, but just not the kind of profile schools that kind of got us in a little bit of a rut earlier. Well, the players are going to have to come back in the fall of 2012 pretty strong. I mean, we head out to the U.S. Open Invitational pretty much within 2 weeks of getting here, and then we have Bucknell Invitational, Lehigh Invitational. So there's not going to be a whole lot of time to prepare and practice. These players are going to have to spend their summers really working out, getting their games down. So by the time they get here, we're going to be able to compete very well in those events. I think in the middle of the season we had some injury issues. You know, Nate was suffering from a knee injury from Quinnipiac that he just couldn't seem to work out, and Sergio battled a condition in his stomach that he couldn't even work out. In fact, you know, up until his last match with Robert Morris, he can barely finish the match. You know, we had some you know, common injuries with shoulders and whatnot. I think the problem is that, you know, without much depth, there's not much you can do about those injuries except kind of play through them. And I think we went into some matches with players that were definitely not 100%. I think next year, definitely on the men's side, we're going to have a great depth issue. If a player gets hurt, I think we're going to be able to move players up and feel confident they can compete in those number 6 spots. You know, I'm trying to reach out to the American players. I'm trying to get American players to come. It's been a challenge. I'm working extremely hard with tennisrecruiting.net and the USTA, but it's just difficult, and I'm not getting the level of players that I want to get that I think can compete. So right now we're getting a lot of international interest, and that's why we're seeing our squads, you know, becoming an international team. I don't look at it that way. I look at it who is going to be the best student athlete for us. I don't look at American or international. To me, everyone's the same, and who's going to be the best for the team. So, you know, I'm going to continue to aggressively pursue American players out there, but right now the international interest is strong enough, and we're getting some solid players, so I'm very happy with that.